Why do people talk about business credit more than grants? I just don't understand.
These corporate grants that they have available where it's like, oh, we need to save on taxes. Let's give out some grants, right?
Yeah.
And so those are so easy to get. We just be shuffling those in. Like right now when people are getting ready to do their taxes October to December, they are throwing grants to the wall, okay?
Is there any industries or specific demographic groups that have more grants than others?
Yeah, what I would say is you have to understand. So people think that you have to go for grants specific to an industry, and that's not the truth, right? Right. I go for grants. We're a consulting firm, but we go for grants in all different type of sectors. It's just based on what is the alignment with the grantor, right? Are they like, hey, we want to help people in underserved communities have after school programs? Okay, well, an after school program could be a writing program that we could put together, right? So now we're able to go for these grant opportunities. And then by doing this program and using this money, it also builds our business because we can hire staff with this money. We can travel and network with this money. We can create all these community opportunities, building our social impact and all these things, right? So we're internally growing our company as well as serving a mission or a need from the grantor. But people limit themselves thinking, oh, if I'm a hairstylist, I can only go for hairstylist grants. Girl, that's a box that I'm not in. So you got to be able to open up, okay, let me see what all am I capable of and what do I really want? This is why the vision is so important. Because if you know like the vision of who you serve, you really can be able to see what are all the opportunities available.
Nah, that makes a ton of sense. But it does open up one question. So if there's grants that you win for specific purposes, like to your point, the after school program, and you win the money, is there any like clawback clause that like if you don't do the thing, right? If, like you just get the money, you just like completely use it for something else.
100%. I've had a client who did that. Child was wilding. I was literally like, what is going on here? Because we don't offer like management help of the grant, right? That's like you got to get with your accountant and do your whole thing. But she was wilding, like on trips, boats, yachts, crazy.
With the grant money,
they rescinded the funding. They rescinded it, and I'm like, well.
So in that example, if she spent the money, you got to you got to pay it back.
Had to pay it back.
But money she obviously didn't have because she had applied for the grant in the first place.
Or at least not all of it.
Had to pay it back. It was crazy. It was a crazy day for her. I was upset for her. But you do have to do what you're going to say. So that's why you write the proposal out to say, I'm going to spend $10,000 here and $5,000 there. And
how do they? What's the follow up process? How do they know? Like, do they check in a year later and say, hey, can you send us your P&L for like how the money was spent, or is it just like a random like for instance, is it a random audit, like, or how do they find out where the money went?
Yeah, it varies pretty differently depending on who's giving it, the source of it. But I would say what we always do no matter what is set up a bank account specifically for grants. Like when you're high level with grants, set up a bank account for grants specifically. And then we use QuickBooks to do like our profit and loss sheet. That way you can have a transparency with the funders. Even if they don't ask you for a P&L afterwards, because sometimes they do, we still send one. So we send a follow-up email 3 months, 6 months later. Hey, thank you, such and such grant opportunity. We appreciate the help. This is how we use the money. It helped us so much. We were able to do this, that, and the third. What that does is now we're building a relationship with the funder. If somebody tell me they got money, I'm going to stay knocking on that door. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep going for different applications. Hey, you gave me money in the past and you got some more. You know?
And now you have a trusted person.
Right.
Now you trust me because I spent the money correctly. So let's talk about that for a second, because I think that people think once they get one grant, they got to apply for so many when they can just lock in with a couple partners that they have, essentially, business partners. What are some strategies that you've used to build relationships with some of these grant agencies so they give you money, not just money one time, but like 3 or 4 times?
LinkedIn is your friend. I love me some good LinkedIn.
Really?
I be finding out who's the who's, right? I really do. I will type in a company like Dave Ramsey company, for instance. I typed in his company. I found what every single employee in that business. It's like 175 of them folks. I was like, okay, cool. Who do I need to talk to do whatever it is that I'm trying to do? And then you reach out and I'll be like, hey, I see you guys have an opportunity open up soon. Do you want to give some information? We have and I always come from the standpoint that we're an educational platform. Like, oh, we have thousands of business students who want to learn more about the program. Do you guys want to host a webinar with us? But I'm learning for myself. I'm like, let me see what I got to know. So they're then giving us the information like, oh, our grant opportunity is doing all these things and this is what we're looking for. And now we kind of have the insider information to be able to get to where we're trying to go. So that's one way that we build partnership, is simply by reaching out, letting them know what you do, who you are, and that you're looking to apply, and then kind of getting some feedback. Even if they don't get on a call, they'll at least email you back.
What are some major red flags that you see or some major no-nos when it comes to applying for grants that, mistakes people probably made in the past?
Grammar. When I tell you
misspelling words,
when I tell you they type like they text, they homegirl.
BRB.
Like, hey, this is bad in these streets.
Yikes!
I need this for.
It's bad in these
send me
streets.
that scratch. Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to use Harvard level education, but like when I'm talking on grants, I do talk very plain language because you have to understand. You don't know me, I don't know you. You don't know my business. You don't know my business. So I have to explain it to you so that you understand it in a way that makes you say, "Let me give this young lady some money," right? So I'm not going to use jargon in my industry to go over your head, but I'm also not going to be like, "Hey, y'all, we got this program starting up." I'm not going to do that either.
A little bag on it.
So that's like that's one of the biggest red flags that I see is that people just don't have good grammar or writing skills, and this is why you have grant writing agencies because we are literally structured to have proper writing skills to make sure that you at least can articulate it clearly.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so looking forward to this grant writing. We gonna get this money for Wealth Weekend.
Wealth Weekend 2025. Y'all heard it here first. $100,000 in grants.
Let's
bring it into fruition. So, the accountant in me wants to ask this question: is there any does your business have to be structured a certain way to get approved for grants? LLC, partnership, S Corp, C Corp. Can a business be a sole proprietor and still, or does the entity structure matter at all with grant writing?
It won't matter as much, but I do see that sole proprietors have less opportunities because they at least want you to be able to show that you have like a business structure.
Take your business seriously enough to make it an LLC and register, why would I trust you with $50,000?
No way.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that, you know? So I do think that sole props have less opportunities. Now there are some like small grants, like 2,500, like, 3,000 that are given out for people to just like be able to register the business and get a website like super startup. But those are so far and few in between. It's so much more opportunity if you just go ahead and pay the $150, get everything structured up, get a website, and then start going for grants because the opportunities are way more vast.
What's one of the biggest grants you've ever seen somebody get?
One of my clients, she's in Houston. She has a daycare. She won a $311,000 grant. I have a homegirl who just got a $2 million grant for her program. I didn't write her grant for her, but she went for that program.
$2 million grants.
They have so much money that this is what you got to understand, right? Especially on the state level, which I love state grants so much because, for instance, Atlanta, every year they do a fiscal budget, right? They're like, okay, this is what our goals are for the state. We want to get some education. We need the healthcare. We need this, that, and the third. So they don't have all of the resources to get those things done. So they're putting money in different pockets to give to small business owners who can be the vendors to get the work done. So now if you can portray yourself as the appropriate person who can handle the job and handle the money and get the work done, and this is your proposed outcome, they'll give you the funding for your business to grow it, get the staff, get the materials, get the equipment, and do the jobs that are need to be done, right? But this isn't like government contracting. These are grants that they're giving to you to do the work. So it's so many opportunities when it comes to money. And if they find someone they trust, they will keep working with you over and over again. Your business can be fully funded from grants.
Which is crazy. So you bring up a good point. You mentioned government. I was going to ask this earlier, government contracting. So like, is there an overlap there between like what grants and government contracting in terms of like when you're going to, because government contracting, from at least from my understanding, this is where you're able to get a contract from the government and essentially the government is your client, right? Grants, you're getting money from whatever group or agency to be able to use that to fund and grow your business. So can they go hand in hand? Are they completely different? Is there some similarities? I'm just kind of curious.
I think it's super similar. That's not my expertise as much, but the only thing I think is different is the process to how you go for the opportunity, right? You're not bidding on an opportunity in that way. You're going for the grant with you're writing out and answering specific detailed questions. Okay. Yeah,
that makes sense. It's free money.
I was Googling. Is grant?
I'm dead.
Do you know? Cause I don't know if grants are taxable.
They are.
They are? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that. I love that conversation because we've started to use grants as literally a revenue stream in our business. Like how people will be like, oh, I'm adding on classes and I'm adding on ebooks. We've added on grants as literally a revenue stream in our business because of the fact that they are taxable. So now it goes on your taxes as part of your gross revenue. Yeah. So when we were once a $100,000 company, now we're a $300,000 company because we've won grants, right? And so now you can go for other funding opportunities that are available to you when you can show that money has been made.
So whoa. Wait. wait a second. Did you just tell me that by applying for grants, since they are taxable,
right,
it increases the revenue of your business?
Correct.
And you can use that increased revenue to apply for higher grants because now you're at a different scale in the business. So you're grant stacking. You're grant stacking to get more grants. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, there's levels.
We are.
Yes, it's levels.
Why do people talk about business credit more than grants? I just don't understand.
I think because it's easier and people have the skill set is more the level. Yeah. You don't have to be, and I don't think you have to be an expert writer to get grants at this point. You know what I mean? They have a lot of tools for writing at this point. There's all kind of things, but I think it's just like, I can go and apply and click some multiple choice buttons. But when it comes to let me think about my idea, you got to understand people don't have a fully formed business idea anyway from the start. So when somebody start asking you questions about, okay, what makes you different in your marketplace? How do you serve your customers? Who are they? Now, Lord, let me go to that business credit.
Yeah, because like, who is my marketplace? I
don't even know. I was just trying to get some money. To get some inventory.
That's to go on the yacht and not have to pay it. Still got to pay it back, but right. No, that's very interesting because I think there are, we are in the coaching space, so we see we have 17 friends personally to talk about business credit,
right?
But I think it's you and maybe one or two other people that we know personally that talks about grants, and I was just wondering why that was such a discrepancy. But to your point, the barrier to entry is low, so obviously people are going to get there more faster.
Of course.
Okay, so asking for a friend. Somebody wants to hire you to write grant. Like, what is your process? Like, do you fee structure? Do you they pay you up front, or do you get a percentage of the grant? Like, how does that work when somebody comes to hire you? Yeah,
so everybody on my team, we're all certified grant writers. So certified grant writers, we cannot take a commission base, right? Gotcha. That's actually against our ethics and morals. Anyone who is doing that, they're probably not a professional with their job. They're just out here doing it on Fiverr. Yeah. And so with that being said, everything we do is upfront. It's a flat fee. So typically we'll either charge by the hour. It's accumulated of basically an hourly rate that we feel like, okay, this is essentially what we put into it before. So we think it's going to be the same amount of hours, and then it's an hourly rate combined to a flat fee. And so it's just a flat fee up front. We do the work for you, get everything done, write the proposal. This is for the research, the writing process, and going into it. Because it's like 60 hours to be able to find and write grants and research everything if you're doing your job, you know, and really going through the process.
Gotcha. Well, we asking because we need it.
Asking for a friend. But I think it's good because trying to take somebody's back end profits is kind of like OD. You know what I'm saying? Charge a percentage of revenue. So, that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah.
So when you think about, I guess, from a grant writing perspective, for people that are coaches, that's a lot of people in the ecosystem, coaches, consultants, service providers, or whatever. What are some grants that come to mind right now, or just opportunities that are kind of being left on the table that are up for the taking that you're seeing?
Yeah, so even for media, a lot of people, there's so many media grants that are out and available, right?
Like podcasts and stuff like that?
All kind of creator grants.
Yeah, listen, we about to be best friends.
Yeah, I was since media, I looked at you. I was like, I felt
And there's large ones, I have a client right now that you guys may know her, but she just went for a media grant that they have out there. It's up to $1 million that they're giving out for each different person. And they're basically wanting people to all, you do whatever you need to do for your business, but they also want you to focus on humanitarian opportunities as well. So it's production, media development. There's so many grants for that. But then also it's these corporate grants that they have available where it's we need to save on taxes. Let's give out some grants, right? Yeah. And so those are so easy to get. We just be shuffling those in. Right now when people are getting ready to do their taxes October to December, they are throwing grants to the wall, okay? And I'm just rain.
Yeah, rain on me.
Let me get all that.
I'm let me come and collect because I need my coin.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So because that makes sense because if I'm a business owner and I'm trying to figure out how to lower my taxes, if I do $100,000 towards the grants, that's a tax deductible expense to me. It's taxable to the consumer,
and it's a good look public relations wise.
PR.
Exactly. Yeah. So they give out so much money, and they're asking you 10 questions about your business on there, and people are winning the money crazy.
And based upon what we're doing, I just know we leaving so much money on the table.
It's money on the table, especially with all the different sectors that y'all touch.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, you better be BFF. Listen, I'm wearing pink too at this point. You know what I'm saying? Let me call my suit guy. Tell him, hey, listen.
Get the Easter joint out the closet.
Yeah, I need that. But no, it's so enlightening because I think it should liberate a lot of entrepreneurs who are fearful of like, I want to start my business or I want to grow my business, but I don't want to take on debt.
Yeah.
And for them to know that there's all these opportunities out there, they just either need to become educated and learn or hire a grant writing agency to assist. I think it's very liberating to have that information.
Yeah, no, for sure. A lot of people, like you were saying earlier, they just didn't know what it really was or what it entails. And then they're just like fearful of like, what's the process, you know, and that fear just holds them back from getting started and making it happen. So I think the more we educate and host classes, we host seminars for $5, literally just because we just want people to know that it's possible, you know, and then we bring our past clients in and they tell them like, girl, I got this, I got that, I got this. And it's just like, okay, someone who looks like me, who has a business similar to mine, who was just starting out can win a grant to grow my business. And, you know, I just think it's a worth thing. Imagine somebody giving you money to start your business. You just feel so edified. You're like, okay, I feel worthy. Like my business is worthy. Right.
Because they gave it to you because they thought they believe that your business is worthy of it.
That makes you go a little bit harder, a little bit harder for the business. So I just think it's an awesome opportunity.
I love that. So what's next for you? I mean, so your business started as an education platform and evolved into a full service agency. What's the next 3 to 5 years? If you know, what does it look like for you?
Well, my goal.
Because I'm asking because I'm nosy and I knew he was going to get in the podcast. I saw you was on your stories or something. You have like $100 million plan.
Come on now.
Right. So I want to know what's next.
That's literally what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I want to be acquired for $100 million. So that's literally like on every wall in my house is $100 million. I'm constantly seeing it. And so what our plan is to kind of get there is now we're working on franchising out the model. Okay. Because for us, we also have to open up who we serve because there's just not enough people in the marketplace because we have to be making about 4.5 million a month to get to 100 million acquisition in the next couple of years. And there's just not enough people in our market base that we can serve to get there, like realistically. So now we're looking at open up our customer base and then also franchising out the model to different states and kind of really becoming just like the corporate hub for grant opportunities, like the next HR block type of thing.
I love it.
Crazy.
I love it.
That's what's next.
Yeah, and I think that.
And the fact that, and it's how I know you're a grant writer because the people you write grants for have to have clarity of their vision of what they want. And you said, I lead from the front. I know exactly what I want and where we're going. So
100%.
I love that. It's very concise too. So I love that.
Yeah, we got a full plan. You're gonna see it come to fruition.
Oh, listen. I believe we gonna add to some of the testimonials.
Yeah. All that. Yeah. Make it 100 million and then just go to Bali, just catch a vibe. You know,
catch a vibe. Something light. Nothing crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
It's nothing crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh man. I think one of the other things I love is the representation, where I think what we'll see, because we mentioned that there's not many women or just not many people in general talking about grants, but you know, you're doing it in a very, you know, eloquent way. I think is a very fly way, quite frankly. I mean, I don't know what other way to put it. And so I think that it's representation, which is why we have a platform called Melanin Money. It's so important. I think people don't realize like how impactful it is to see somebody that looks like you, who's doing it at a high level, to let you know that that's even a possibility. I'm sure there's young Black and brown girls right now that's seeing you on the internet like, I want to be a grant writer. I want to have a grant writing agency. So my question to you is, what does being a melanin millionaire mean to you?
A melanin millionaire. I've never thought about that. You know, I think it's ever evolving for one. You know, it's ever shifting because of the levels that you get on. I think for me, the main focus is always the impact for sure. Like you mentioned before, I think having people be able to change their mindsets about what's possible for them is super duper important, but also educating them on the real, you know, and not really holding back on what does it really actually take. Because I thought when I became a millionaire, I'll be done. I said, okay, make $1 million. Good.
Out. Yeah, that should be enough.
And then I seen a 6-figure invoice. I said, now that, what? What
I gotta pay that win?
Yeah, I don't carry the 7.
Do we got 15 days? You know, so it never stops. And like just being honest about and transparent about how the process really works when it comes to making money, building wealth, going through the processes and becoming a new person consistently, shedding your old beliefs every tax bracket you reach, and just constantly going
that's
for
a bar.
it. It's real. It's super real. So I think that's what.
In order to get to another bracket, you got to shed a new limiting belief.
No, for real. Because people say if you can make 10,000, you can make $1 million. That's not true. That is so not true. No, if you make 10,000, $100,000, you can make 10,000. No, for real. Because it's not just duplicating what you've done.
Yeah. What gets you here won't get you there.
Come on now. Yeah. I read that book and I said, see, they need to understand, you know, it's not the same process. It's a whole different mind frame that you have to be in to say, okay, who do I need to become to be able to franchise my company or sell for $100 million? Because it's all about the leadership.
They're going to miss that. Who do I need to become?
Yeah.